I think there should be a lot of excitement, certainly anticipation. I think we're all waiting to see what it looks like. He's ready. He's adamant. He feels good, strong, ready to pitch in a major league game. I'm not sure how long he's going to pitch tonight, but I think everyone in that clubhouse, I think the fans, the media, we've been waiting for this moment.
Skipper, what will determine how long he actually is on the mound this evening?
I think, how he looks, to be quite frank, the pitch count, how he feels after the inning. For us as Dodgers, this is uncharted territory for us. It's been a while since he's been on the mound. So I think that just sort of right now, Jim, leaving it open-ended.
You say how he looks. What are some of the specific things and how he's throwing the ball you're going to be like watching closest?
I think that there's certainly going to be some adrenaline, some extra motion. You might not see it overtly from him. Just the command. I think arm side, how his delivery looks, stress, repeatability, all that stuff is kind of what I'm kind of keeping an eye on.
Kind of seem like the play in big moments, he kind of like just has a knack for having Duke or what you would expect a sort of superstar to do. Is that like you're kind of going to sit back tonight and start watching, see if they can sort of come through on the pitching side as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really also interesting and exciting because, yeah, he certainly seems to rise in big moments. And this is fun in the sense that it's just something he wanted, and it's the Padres, a division rival, where it's not, a team that's not a rival, and to kind of take that one to be your first outing. So this speaks a lot to his compete, certainly.
Brandon was saying, kind of like you have, that he was sort of driving this a little bit to try to get back. Like, what are the ways you guys had seen that? Like, what are some of the things like he did to kind of make the?
I think it's more of like, well, I don't think there's anything else to do. I'm ready to go. What else do I need to do to get on a major league mound? So I think it's more of like, you start trying to treat him like a normal pitcher and a normal ramp up or a build up. But, if it's going to be an inning or two, it's like, well, I've already done that. So can I pitch now? And so you gotta hear the player and trust the player. Yeah.
Dave, given that it's first time back, shorter outing, you're at home, was there any thought to having him not bat leadoff?
There was, Eric. I thought about that. I ran it by him. He said, no problem. I'm good with it. And I haven't really dug in the archives when he was two-way with the Angels. And I think there were times that he did hit leadoff. So I don't think it really affects him. And again, this is going to be a short stint, but it could change going forward. But right now he feels very comfortable with taking the mound, then coming in the dugout and getting on his stuff to go taking at bat.
Are you going to have a closer eye on him offensively, especially like later innings tonight, just to make sure that you have extra proceed or anything like that?
You know what? I will. We all will. But I don't think it'll show itself tonight. I think if it does, I think there's a lot of adrenaline. I think that it would show itself tomorrow. It would be my guess. But we will keep an eye on, yeah.
How much conversation have you guys had with him about just what the base running component is going to look like?
You know what? If you look back in the last month, he hasn't run a whole lot. So I think that this is kind of his own thought. And to be quite honest, I haven't really needed to have a conversation with him about that. I think he's smart enough to know that with what was to come, to kind of curtail some of the tax on the body. So he hasn't been as aggressive, obviously, as we've seen.
You weren't sure last time if that was a coincidence or not. You're pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure that's the case, yeah. Because there's been opportunities with the green light that, last year he would have certainly taken a chance, but, the last month he hasn't, which is fine.
Have there been other ways you guys have seen him just kind of moderate what he's doing physically on a day-to-day basis, even just behind the scenes, or how he's going about his day since he started ramping up?
The strength guys, performance guys, medical guys, docs, they've all kind of got that manned. I haven't, watched in particular all that stuff. I've watched them throw, and I've obviously watched them take at bats, but all that stuff, you know, underneath, I haven't seen it, but they're certainly not going to miss anything with him.
Still gonna follow him in bulk tonight? Or?
Kasparius will pitch tonight in bulk. We'll kind of see how his outing goes, and then, you know, I'll make a decision after that.
You being a fan of the game, what's your excitement level for tonight?
Very excited. I think that there's a lot of people that were here early today. Very excited. I mean, you saw it, we saw it, I saw it from the other side, from afar when he was with the Angels, and then so now I think I got the best seat in the house to watch it, and to watch this guy start and then taking it back. This is bananas. So I'm thrilled.
Doc, as you start to look down the road on this thing, how do you manage the workload? How do you guard against potential burnout? Are there going to be days off factored in?
Yeah, I think that, you know, obviously it's not going to be a once every 5 day situation, so there's going to be plenty of time to recover. We also have the luxury of pitching them as much as we want as far as in a particular outing, because again, it's additive as far as, you know, our roster. So, you know, today is one kind of, you know, opportunity, and we'll see how he responds, and we're still gathering information, and I think that going forward it'll be helpful to what decisions we have. But, you know, right now I don't know what it looks like as far as days off, before, after, the day of, you know, where he hits in the lineup, all that stuff. Today I'm just kind of trying to gather as much information as I can as well.
I can imagine that he's going to have a lot of energy, wanting to, like, you know, get into the routine of things. How much are you trying to, like, kind of hold him back and kind of ease him into it, and over the course of today and into his future pitching outings?
I think that'll be easy, in the sense of the player is always going to want for more. That's just what competitive athletes are all about. I think that we have a very good open line of communication, and I still really try to live by the wanting the player wanting for more, leaving the player wanting for more. And so this kind of fits in this case too. So there's going to be times where I'm sure he feels he can keep going, where I want him, we want him to be wanting for more. So this whole process has been very, you know, slow moving. So I think that we're going to still be cautious going forward, with obviously his value and importance, you know, to the organization, and most importantly, his health too.
Seems like a lot of his teammates found out yesterday before the game and kind of like talked about it, and like the bringing like a little bit of excitement. Can you talk about like what make like what he brings to the team, like what the excitement why is it that?
Yeah, I mean, he's the best player on the planet. I think that everyone can kind of admire that. You know, that people, we did this in high school, you know, two-way players, and then so, or college maybe for certain people, but to do it at this level and to be so talented, I think we all marvel at it. And these players like myself and like you guys, we're baseball fans first, and we're fans too. So just to be able to see a teammate be able to take this on, the physical, the talent-wise, the, you know, the psychology of it, this is a big undertaking. And so he's, as people say, he's a unicorn.
What kind of pitcher were you in high school?
What's that? What kind of pitcher were you in high school? I was a thumber, because a guy didn't throw hard, a lot of curveballs, but I didn't pitch much, Dale. But I was a three-sport athlete, Dale. Bye, guys.